Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharajas.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Deves.
So, um, we are reading from Canto 4 to 6. Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva. And we are reading 44 through 46 today. I'm sorry I missed a few classes in between because something or other was happening. So,
No
uh,
problem.
here's maybe like if if you can give me a quick recap, like that will be very helpful.
Oh my gosh. I'm not near my book right now and my
That's okay, Mataji.
orientation.
Like no,
Um,
yeah.
um, so
Let's
yeah,
first say the
yeah,
prayer.
I think it's,
Yeah,
I'm walking right now.
sure,
So I will not be able to read. I'm just hearing right now.
sure. Om Agyana Timirandhasya
Anandasya,
Shalak
Niranjana Shalakaya, Chakshu Umilitanana,
Tasmai
Tasman Shri
Gurave
Guraven Namaha.
Sri
Shri
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Krishna
Prabhupada Krishna Stapitanyana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadarmaya Vadanti Swa
Padantik
Vadantikam
Mancha Kalpataru
Chakapatrubhyacha
Vasindu
Kripa Sindhuva Evacha
Pati
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha
Jai Shri Krishna
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Priya
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Narayanam Namaskritya
Namaskritya
Narottamam
Nirottabam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Vyasam
Tirayat
Duraya
Nashtaprayeshu
Nishtapasu Abhadresu Nityam Bhaga
Maya
Sevaya
Bhagavati
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhakti
Te Bhavati Naishtaki.
So text 44, Canto 4, Chapter 6. Tam eva dharmartha dughabhipattaye dakshine sutre nam shasharjitta tvaram tvailoke asitascha setavo yan brahmana shraddhate dritavrata. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
My dear Lord, Lordship has introduced the system of sacrifices through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the four varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. Purport: the Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the upkeep of social and religious order in human society. The Brahmanas, as the intelligent class of men in society, must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali is to make a classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Destruction of social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama for the satisfaction of the Creator, For it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the four orders of the social system, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, are his creation. They should act according to the regulative principles of this institution and satisfy the Lord, just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the whole. The whole is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Virat Rupa or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen, and legs of the universal form of the Lord. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective positions and become degraded. Text 45. Would anybody else like to read? If yes, please let me know. Okay, I'll continue reading, and there is one more text if anybody would like to read, like just text 45. Tvam karmanam mangala mangalanam krituswalokam tanu usa swaparam va amangalanam cha tamishram ulbanam viparyayakena tat eva kasyachit. Translation: O most auspicious Lord, you have ordained the heavenly planets, the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, and the impersonal Brahman sphere as the respective destinations of the performers of auspicious activities. Similarly, for others who are miscreants, you have destined different kinds of hells, which are horrible and ghastly. Yet sometimes it is found that their destinations are just the opposite. It is very difficult to ascertain the cause of this purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called the Supreme Will. It is by the Supreme Will that everything is happening. It is said, therefore, that not a blade of grass moves without the Supreme Will. Generally, it is prescribed that the performers of pious activities are promoted to the higher planetary systems. Devotees are promoted to the Vaikunthas or spiritual worlds, and impersonal speculators are promoted to the impersonal Brahman effulgence. But it sometimes so happens that a miscreant like Ajamil is immediately promoted to the Vaikuntha Loka simply by chanting the name of Narayana. Although when Ajamil uttered this vibration, he intended to call his son Narayan. Lord Narayan took it seriously and immediately gave him promotion to Vaikuntha Loka despite his background, which was full of sinful activities. Similarly, King Daksha was always engaged in the pious activities of performing sacrifices, yet simply because of creating a little misunderstanding with Lord Shiva, he was severely taken to task. The conclusion, therefore, is that the supreme will is the ultimate judgment, and no one can argue upon it. A pure devotee, therefore, submits in all circumstances to the supreme will of the Lord, accepting it as all auspicious. तत्तेऽनुकम्पं सुसमीक्षमानो भुञ्जान एवात्मकृतं विपाकम् हृद्वाग्वपुर्भिर्विदधान् नमस्ते विजेतयो मुक्तिपदे सदया भक्. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8. The purport of this verse is that when a devotee is in a calamitous condition, he takes it as a benediction of the Supreme Lord and takes responsibility himself for his past misdeeds. In such a condition, he offers still more devotional service and is not disturbed. One who lives in such a disposition of mind, engaged in devotional service, is most eligible candidate for promotion to the spiritual world. In other words, such a devotee's claim for promotion to the spiritual world is assured in all circumstances. Text 46. Navai satam tvach charanarpitatmanam bhuteshu sarveshva abhipashyatam tabam bhutani chatmani aparididrika shatam prayena rosho abhibhavet yatha pashum. Translation. My dear Lord, devotees who have faithfully dedicated their lives unto your lotus feet certainly observe your presence as Paramatma in each and every being, and as such, they do not differentiate between one living being and another. Such persons treat all living entities equally. They never become overwhelmed by anger like animals, who can see nothing without differentiation. Purport. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes angry or kills a demon, materially they may appear unfavorable, but spiritually it is a blissful blessing upon him. Therefore, pure devotees do not make any distinction between the Lord's anger and his blessings. They see both with reference to the Lord's behavior with others and themselves. A devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstances. Wow, quite loaded purports. So, um, so we'll go back a little bit because I have missed a few um, classes in a row. Or if anybody can quickly give me um, summary, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
who is this? Ruchi Mataji? Ruchi Mataji?
Yes.
Are you speaking, Ruchi Mataji?
Yeah, it's me, but I'm not well, so I'll just listen.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So, um, based on um, the context, actually, uh, the demigods have reached Mount Kailash to pacify Lord Shiva, and these are being spoken by Lord Brahma to Lord Shiva to pacify him. So, Lord Brahma begins speaking in text 42. He says, Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller. I'm sorry, it's my husband's phone. Just 1 second. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination, father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way. My dear Lord, you created this cosmic manifestation. Maintain it and annihilate it by expansion of your personality, exactly as a spider creates, maintains, and winds up its web. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced the system of sacrifice through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the four varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. So it is very evident here that Lord Brahma is speaking to Lord Shiva, but he is again speaking about the entire cosmic manifestation which we see around us. And Prabhupada is very clear in his purports that these are being spoken to Lord Shiva, but at the same time, um, he's pointing out that Lord Krishna is the supreme controller. Therefore, wherever there is mention of the Supreme Lord, Prabhupada is pointing out that the ultimate controller is Lord Vishnu. So, these, in a practical sense, these verses are very significant for us as devotees. Matajis, there is some noise. If any of you uh, have not yet muted your phone, like please mute your phones. So, thank you very much.
Manasi Ganga Mataji, I mean, not Manasi Ganga, what am I saying? Leela Mandri Mataji, Hare Krishna. Are you reading these verses for the first time? Because I read these yesterday.
Based on the schedule, like this is what is given. 44 through 46.
Okay. 44 through what? Through
46.
what? Through 46?
Yeah, based on the schedule.
Oh, yes. 44. I'm sorry. The ones before that you were reading, I had read yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I was confused because I got on late. I'm sorry.
That's fine,
I
Mataji.
apologize.
No
Okay.
problem. Yeah. So here, actually, in this verse of 44, Prabhupada is speaking about the importance of the Varnashrama system. So, as we are all aware, there are 4 Varnas: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And there are 4 ashramas. The ashramas are Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. And here reference is being made to Lord Shiva because he is equally powerful as Vishnu. So in one sense, we can say that it is their system together for the maintenance of the human society. But Prabhupada is clearly mentioning in all of his purports that the ultimate controller is Lord Krishna. He is the creator of everything. And these 4 varnas and ashramas are created to establish human society and give it a particular order. And the more one we can align ourselves to these 4 varnas and ashramas, the more the society becomes more conducive to live as well as practice spiritual life. And uh, Prabhupada is saying that actually in this age of Kali, people are not following their varnas and ashramas. So this has been one of the themes through what we have been reading, is that the Brahmanas have a particular kind of duty. So what do the Brahmanas do? The Brahmanas yajan, pathan, pathan, dana pratigraha. So what that means is that they perform yagyas and they teach others how to perform yagyas. They study the scripture and they teach others scripture. And they accept donations and they give in donations. They give in charity. So these are the 6 functions of a Brahmana. And Kshatriyas, what do? They collect taxes and they give protection to the society. And what do Vaishyas do? Vaishyas take care of the cows, and they also engage in trading different goods. And the Shudras, they work to satisfy the remaining 3 classes of society. And this structure is actually very, very helpful for maintaining the human society. And each class is equally important. And Prabhupada would make this analogy and he would say Of course, the brain is most important within the body, but at the same time, the legs are also important. If our leg gets diseased, we don't say, okay, like, I don't need my leg. We take all care to preserve the good health of the legs also. So similarly, in human society, all of them are important: the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. But at the same time, Prabhupada used to point out that in modern society, it's unfortunate that all of them are being trained to become Shudras. So this is the modern educational system. He used to say this is the defect of the modern educational system. Everybody goes to school and everybody passes with a degree, and then immediately they have to go look for a job. So our modern educational system is making us dependent, and a person who is dependent is called as a Shudra. The Brahmanas never were dependent on anybody else. They accepted donations, but their engagement was completely independent. They could keep themselves busy by worshipping the deities, they could keep themselves busy by performing yagyas, and whatever came as the donation by doing such things, they just accepted and lived a very simple life. Similarly, the Kshatriyas were also very independent in their livelihood, independent in their occupation. So they didn't have to go um, they didn't have to go and um, try to satisfy somebody else with their work. Um, and the Vaishyas would take care of the cows, which was within the family. They would take care of the cows, and they would come and um, engage in business and trade. And the Shudras were the only ones who did not know how to engage themselves independently. So they would go and work for others. But Prabhupada points out that actually, after so many years of studying in a school, in a university, people are unable to find a livelihood for themselves. They have to go and beg at somebody's door that, my dear sir, please give me a job so that I can be engaged. So he always used to point out, like, this is the defect of modern education. And another defect of modern education is that modern education never talks about the presence of the soul. When the presence of the soul is absent from the educational system, then what happens is all the attention goes to the body and matter. And the defect of such a system is that when one becomes too bodily conscious, then one will indulge more and more in sense gratification. But the result of such indulgence in sense gratification is that one never feels satisfied, because the real nature of the soul is to engage in the service of the Lord. And when that is absent, everything else becomes um, it exists, it has some value, but at the same time, it does not deeply satisfy the soul. What it means is that Prabhupada often used to give this example. A man will work very, very hard throughout his life, and supposing he earns $1 million, he will not be satisfied with $1 million. He will want $2 million after that. So such is the nature of a materially um, conditioned soul. A conditioned soul will never become satisfied, no matter how much they have and how much sense gratification they get. The real key to satisfaction lies in developing their Krishna consciousness. So, the Vedic model, actually, as opposed to the model that we have now, which is surrounding us in all four directions, is to take one's attention away from the body and towards the soul. Towards the soul also means that they take their attention to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and his service. when one takes one's attention to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the first thing that happens is one feels satisfaction and happiness. It does not matter, even if it is a small engagement in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one experiences much more satisfaction than what one can experience through material sense gratification. Material sense gratification, um, the more one indulges in sense gratification, the more they keep wanting it. It's not that sexual pleasure ever gets satiated. The more one engages in it, the more they want it, the more they want it. The hankering of the senses and the mind never stops. That is the unfortunate situation. If somebody is likes to drink alcohol, the more he drinks alcohol, the more he becomes addicted to it. Alcohol will never satisfy a person. So that is actually the defect of our modern educational system. And uh, Prabhupada also points out that there is a lot of importance in this Varna and Ashrama system, because this Varna and Ashrama system categorizes and divides the um, duties and responsibilities of every person within the society. The Brahmanas are supposed to be the intelligent class. So not only can they think about themselves, but they can think about the good and welfare of everybody without bias. So the Kshatriyas rule the society, but they rule the society after taking guidance from the Brahmanas, who are very learned. So what happens is there is a powerful ruler who can actually take care of everybody, but that powerful ruler is being guided by the intelligence of a Brahmana who is not biased, who can think not only about his own welfare but also the welfare of the whole society, and they can guide the entire society. And then next are the Vaishyas, and then next are the Shudras. But another defect of the democracy in modern society is that the Vaishyas and Shudras have taken charge of the political system. So what it means is that the Vaishyas and Shudras, they are coming and um, they control the whole political system within the country. What it means is that the whole motivation of the entire country is economic development. How to make money, how to make money, how to make money, how to make money. So they really cannot focus on what is most beneficial for the society. And we are seeing it every day, every day, every day. The country is only focused on economic development. Where is money? And when anything is done with an intention of gaining money from others, then they lose the whole good purpose behind that activity. So that is the defect, and that is a very big defect, because just take for example the medical system within the country. The medical system is mostly governed by the pharmaceutical companies. So even though they may know that, okay, this is not a medicine that is suitable for curing this disease, still the bias will be like, how will I earn money through this system? So even though they may know certain things never become popular in medicines, because it is controlled. Basically the whole intention is controlled by money. So that is why Prabhupada always used to say this Krishna consciousness society is is intended to create Brahmanas within the society, because now the society is filled with Shudras. Nobody is able to think. Kshatriyas are practically nil. There is no good administration. And Vaishyas and Shudras have taken control of the role of Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. So that is why the entire system is so corrupt, and it is going with each progressive year, it is going down and down and down in terms of moral character, in terms of decision making and policy making. Everything is haphazard in Kali Yuga. Um, that is why Prabhupada wanted again and again that even within the Krishna consciousness society, there should be this division of Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, and Shudras, because these are natural qualities which a person is born with, and those natural qualities can be harnessed by proper um, training. One may be born in a Brahmin family and one may have particular good qualities based on their birth, but they have to become trained more and more, and those qualities have to be polished under training and guidance. So this is the whole purpose of our Krishna conscious society, so that people can understand what is the goal of life, how the society should be moving, what is the real welfare work, and how policies should be made and how people should be guided. This is the work of the Krishna conscious society. We don't have a political standing, but at the same time, um, this through the study of Srimad Bhagavatam and the scriptures, one gains access to higher spiritual knowledge so that one can progress nicely on the path of not just spiritual life but also material life. So, Prabhupada is saying, because people are not following the system of Varna and Ashrama, the whole society is becoming degraded. They're becoming degraded again and again, like um, because of that. Ruchi Mataji, you have a question?
Yes.
Yes, Ruchi Mataji.
So I have a couple of questions, but I just want to make it short, and I just want to tell you I had a procedure done today, so I'm feeling kind of bitter, and don't take anything personally, but just some questions in my mind are that we keep saying that everybody takes money, but if we don't take money for our duties, then we are going to starve. How will we have a house, a home? How will we have money to help others? Money is only gained through like transaction of something you can give to others and the person can give to you. Like, let's say there's a professor in the college, and if he teaches for free, like you said, if he's a Brahman, he should teach for free. Then if he's teaching for free, then how is he going to support his family, his home, his bills? In America especially, you need anywhere, even in India. In India, money is more important because there are no rules and regulations. And if you don't have any saved money, then you can be in big trouble. So one point is this, and number two point is we keep saying that this is a very bad, degraded age, but actually this might be the best of the ages, because compared to what we were in the past, like today, you and I, it was very difficult. It would have been very difficult for us to sit together or call everybody and then have a meeting and read the Bhagavatam. But because we have phone, because we have internet, because we have this, we all can do the Bhagavatam class so conveniently. Also, like, there is a washing machine, we don't need to waste time in washing our clothes. We don't need to the food we eat, there is a refrigerator, so we don't have to worry about the food getting bad every day. Like, all these machines, there is heat, otherwise, because we wouldn't be even be able to live in America without the heat. So I'll keep it short. I mean, the more we have materially progressed, the more time we have to think about other problems. Also, like, medically, you said that people uh, they are driven by pharmaceuticals, but if like um, modern medicine would not have been there, then 80% of the diseases would not have been able to get cured. Only modern medicine holds the key to, like, curing something fast. Otherwise, the chances are like people die usually, and life is the most precious. I mean, if one doesn't have life, we can't even pray to God or get closer to God. So these are just some of my doubts. I would like you to speak about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice points, Ruchi Mataji. Thank you for bringing them up. So the point is that like money in itself is not bad, but what is the intention of the person who
but that's what
is
I'm trying to say, Mataji, is that if we don't take money for our services, we will not be able to survive. And also, like we say, okay, like if we even do charity like hours, that okay, some of my hours are for free, then that also we have to work extra hard to take money from somewhere else, because we have to get a house, we have to eat food, maintain, pay the water bill, electricity bill, then we have to pay for the car, transportation, internet. So where is the money going to come from? If we stop charging for any services we are doing, if we stop charging for it, there's not a possibility.
actually I do not know like how it will work in every circumstance, but I can tell like because I have seen it with my own eyes. Um Actually, we have only 20 minutes in our class today because today is Friday, so the next class will start. I'm just throwing it out. Um, I saw my grandfather, he was a doctor, but in India at that time, while he was there and I was young, like, he was alive until I was 23 years old. My grandfather was alive until I was 23 years old. And throughout his life, actually, the system in India is that doctors should not charge the patients.
Mm.
So
Mm.
my grandfather had um, 7 children, okay, and he had some ancestral property, but like there was some differences between the brothers, so he didn't get his share of the property. So basically, since he got married to my grandmother, he and anybody who would come for medical help, it doesn't matter who it was, whether he was the prime minister or he was a pauper, he always used to help them. I have seen it with my own eyes, that's why I'm saying this. And not only that, how he used to care for people. When he used to go for a walk, morning walk, he would go to his patients houses, he would knock on their door, and he would ask them, how are you doing today? So the patient was not coming to him. He was going to the patient's house to check on them. So that
I,
was
I,
the
Yeah.
extent
I
of care.
agree with
Yeah.
all of
That's
that.
beautiful.
Even my
Yeah.
dad was a surgeon, and he did a lot of operations for free. He did a lot of patients who did not have money. In India, people are poor. Many times
Mm,
he would just do the operation and even give them medicines and a room for free so that they could just stay. And so he
mm,
cured a lot of patients, and he used to charge $50 for an operation, which is nothing over here.
mm,
So I agree with all of that. But the
mm.
point is that in India, you have to
But
compare
what I want to say is that
apples to apples. So in India, you can live your life with like 5,000 rupees in a month. I don't know if it is possible now, but earlier, if but that too, if you have a paternal house, if you have a house which is paternal ancestral property, fine, you can live there in the house. If you don't, you have to spend millions of rupees. Real estate is very high to get a place to live in, and then um, other things are also getting very expensive. So it is not possible like the olden days in India even now to survive like that. Like even now
I
it is
agree
not.
with you, Mataji, because the whole system is geared like that now. The
Mm.
whole system is geared in such a way that people cannot live a simple life. It is hard. I'm not saying it's impossible because I know many people, even in United States. who did not charge for their like whole life. They were able to live without charging money for their services.
Then they must have got a very good inheritance from their
No,
parents.
no, no, it is not inheritance, because there is a higher principle that also works. It is not inheritance, but somehow, like, Krishna protected them. It was not that my grandfather ever had to like beg just because he was not charging. Whatever they could give. See, if a farmer comes and he gives him a vegetable, my grandfather will accept it. But that is all the farmer could give. They will give one, like, they will bring one vegetable and give it to my grandfather, and that's what my grandmother would cook. So people were willing to take that risk to serve others. They were willing to risk that poverty. But now the whole system is geared towards, okay, now you have to have that latest iPhone. Now you have to have, and you know, I mean, this can become a
Namaste.
whole topic in itself. But what I'm trying to say is,
Mm,
if a person is willing to live simply, they were able to live like that. But now the whole, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Now the things are very different, because just to approach a doctor, you need to have insurance.
no, no, Mataji. Things are. There's still many philanthropists and Christian people that 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 give any extra income or extra staples that they have in their life to other people. I know people that do that.
Mm.
It's just, I mean, maybe you know it, maybe it's a perspective on things right now. We're very upset right now. Things are very scary and turned upside down, and
Mm.
we don't know if we're coming or going.
Mhm. Mhm.
We just have to pray,
Mhm. Mhm.
pray for the mercy of Krishna
Mhm.
for our family and ourselves, because God, I believe most people do believe in a God, and
Mhm.
that God is the source of their good fortune.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, it's
Mhm.
you just have to, you know.
Mhm.
Yes, yes,
It's a very true, Linda Mataji, because Prabhupada writes in all of his books, he says that actually the real issue is not that, we don't have enough around us. The real issue is the greed of the people. And the greedy people are controlling now. That's the problem. It's not that people were not greedy, but the people who were in power previously were very generous brahmanas and kshatriyas who used to rule.
yes.
That's why that
Is
society
it?
was not like, it didn't feel as if everybody was under some kind of artificial pressure to keep working and working and working. If
Yeah.
if
So
the, if the persons who are on the top have the pure consciousness and proper intelligence, other people don't have to suffer. But now the society is reversed. People who are most greedy are on the top. So now everybody is suffering because of that.
Yes, yes, yes. We have
but
to write letters to
there is
Congress.
a saying, like in America, they say that it's better that the wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few, because then they are able to give more. Like Jeff Bezos' wife, she donated half of her entire money she got, which was $5 billion, to
Mm-hmm.
charity. She
Oh,
donated, unlike Warren Buffett, he donates most of his money to charity. He lives in a very worn down old car, and he donates most of his stuff. Similarly, Bill Clinton and Melinda Gates, they are very big philanthropists. They donate a
mm-hmm.
lot of money to all humanitarian causes.
Yeah.
So like much more in India. Like in India, we have to see how much money do the Ambanis actually donate, because they spend all their money in jewelry. At least they don't have the concept of jewelry over here and fashionable living like in India. So like here, Bill and Melinda Gates or even any film stars you see, they donate big amounts of money. They donate,
Yes.
and even
Yes, and
like
if you look at
any
the churches,
person, yeah,
you know,
most people you see who are rich, they donate a lot, because I think they don't have this concept of showing off. Like I'm not trying to be, I am like one of from the Indian culture only, but there they have a lot of thing to buy jewelry and fancy cars just to impress other people and their own families and extended families. Look how much money they have. And at least that concept is not in America, because here, like even Facebook person, he always matches all contributions, and he has made very big donations, like including like Steve Jobs, anybody, like all these big people, they donate huge amounts of money. That's why they say that the money should be concentrated in the hands of the rich, of a few people, because then they will only use no matter how much greed they have, they will use, and then they will have to donate the rest. It will have to go to the country. Whereas
yes,
if it is distributed in the hands of everybody, then it will not be going to anybody as such. And also there is a saying that if you took all the wealth from all the people and distributed it evenly among all the people, after a certain time it will go back to the people uh, who will become rich, and the other will become poorer during a period of 5 years. Have you heard that quotation? Actually, it's by a law of
yes,
economics, because the rich people, in spite of having less money, will find a way to make lots of money. You can call it karma or their good intellect or whatever, but the
well, you have to have
normal
faith,
people will lose their money. They will not be able to sustain.
Swada, yes, yes,
Hare
That
you have,
Krishna.
you
Hare
have to have
Krishna.
Swada, faith, you know, faith, faith, there is faith, and that comes from finding a good church with good people, you know, that can minister to your needs and pray for you. Find a good church. Find a good church that that will it will help your perspective. It will help it will show you things that you didn't know existed.
So Hare
And it's all
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Uh,
Maharaj Ganga.
yeah. I'm just going to try to bring it back to what we were reading, and Gurudev recently has been talking about this the last couple days, and he was saying, well, what are we to do? Are we to wait until good 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 people will enter into the government? And no, he's been talking about farm communities and how Srila Prabhupada had this the vision that we all start migrating towards farm communities where we all can support one another, and instead of utilizing and instead of being dependent upon the external society to create a society, many societies, many farm communities, whereas that utilize this varnashram system, and from that, like when people have like some people are farming, some are like having cows and whatever, all the different skills that people have, then people can trade within, whenever there's an excess, and creating and developing a sense of community is has been, this plan has been told to us through Srila Prabhupada. And many people are starting to join into these farm communities. And Gurudev's was asking us all, to begin thinking in those terms. Anyway, so given this greed that Leela Manjari was talking about, and given the situation where this society as it is, there is actually an answer. There's actually a solution to this, and Srila Prabhupada has given this to us. And so I just want to say that. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much, Manasi Ganga Mataji. Yeah, so basically what I was trying to share were just principles. I'm not like really trying to say like what is good and what is bad in like today's world, but I'm just trying to share principles. Of course, my language may not be most appropriate, but the idea is that if everybody can like try to understand like what is necessary and what is to be done, um, what is most essential for human society, then the way our um, society would progress would be very different from what it is today. So that's all I was trying to share. So I hope that was somewhat clear, like from what I shared.
Yes, I appreciate your tendency towards a philosophical, argument. And there is no answer. There's no definite answer. There is none.
Mm.
Actually,
in the the next two verses, Prabhupada is talking about the solution. The solution is that even though the entire society may be in chaos, one individual can turn to Krishna by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now there are so many arguments against, oh, how is that going to solve? But that is actually the spiritual advice that Prabhupada is giving. And if we practice it sincerely, we will experience it. How it is affecting our life and how it is improving our quality of life. And of course, Prabhupada gives many, he tries to explain things in many nice ways. He has so many lectures, many morning walks, but but ultimately, like, we have to apply it. Then we will feel it, how it is helping us. So we only have 4 minutes. So if anybody else would like to share, besides those devotees who have already spoken, if anybody wants to share something.
Manas, did you finish 46? I'm sorry I was late today. So I don't know if you got through all the verses, Mataji.
Yes, I was able to explain only 44, but we read the purports of 44, 45, and 46 also.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I didn't hear everything, so I guess today I'm not going to make much of a comment. I just wanted to listen, but let's see if there was anything. Yeah, I totally agree about what Guru Dev has been saying about start thinking about these farm communities. You know, we are not going to go, I'm sorry, we're not going back to what it was. Life here is not going to be the same